Welcome to School of Miracles. I'm Heather Scavetta. And today we're going to be talking about the purpose of life. This is a question that comes up for most people to wonder about. What is the purpose of life? Trying to define what life is perhaps is a different question, but the purpose of life, perhaps you could say the purpose of existence, the purpose of this life that we're in right now on an individual basis and also the collective. What is the overall purpose of life? So there can be many answers to this question, but I thought it was interesting that this week I did a couple of life readings and this came up, this came through as I channel the pre-birth council. These are a group of ascended masters and elders. Elders are defined as people who have walked the earth before, and how they help you plan your life before you come. So they're very much interested in life, in the purpose of life. And so sometimes they come through directly and talk about this, and other times it's more like little hints about it. It depends who I'm reading for and what it is they need to understand about their own life, about life in general, about life in the spirit world, etc. So, oftentimes with spirit guides, they guide us in a way that may not be obvious. It can be very subtle. What I find amazing is when I do life readings, how they talk to that individual, how sometimes they can be very blunt and to the point, and other times the people aren't ready to perhaps understand a deeper concept. And so the people that I read for this week are, in my opinion, more advanced in their spiritual journey of understanding it. And so I think they were ready to hear some information that was more direct. It is the purpose of the individual journey here to go on a journey of self discovery. And so it's often not helpful for spirit to tell you about your spiritual journey too early, but also in general, because it is a journey of discovery, which means it is the experience itself that I feel from listening to readings for so many years, um, to figure it out, to ask yourself those questions, or go through life experience, putting the pieces together. That is more advantageous to our spiritual growth than to not go through that journey and be told, because we have a natural inclination not to believe what we're being told unless we experience it ourselves. And perhaps that is built in to this journey here so that we do, in fact, go down that road to experience it ourselves. But I also love the fact that in the readings that I do, they do tell us about our real reality, which is the spirit realm, because we all know the physical experience is temporary, but our spiritual life is eternal. And so we do exist forever. And that reality is actually our reality, where the physical life isn't really, let's just say it's an experience. So both these individuals that I read for have been on the spiritual path for quite a while. And sometimes when we're on this spiritual path of discovery or learning or all those things, we can get bogged down in the details. We can know sometimes too much detail. And sometimes spirit has to remind us to simplify things and to not overthink our lives and our approach and what we need to do, et cetera, et cetera. So they came through very directly saying the purpose of life is, and of course, when things like that happen in my readings, I'm always keen to hear what they're about to tell me because I just love to understand how everything works. That's kind of like what I want to know is what is real and how does it work? And so when they come through and tell us these things pretty directly, I'm, all ears. So in one of the readings, they said that the purpose of life is to live. And so we may look at that statement and go, well, obviously, but is it really obvious to a lot of us in our lives? Because we forget that when we incarnate and we live this physical life, it is about living the life. And what does that mean? Because, of course, we're alive, we're here, right? So, to help understand that a little bit more, it reminded me of when I was in my first few months, maybe first 6 months of losing my daughter and how I went into a deep despair. Was even, I don't want to say suicidal, but it definitely crossed my mind many times. And I was very deep into grief and mourning the loss of her and very much thrown into chaos in my life because I didn't know who I was, where I was going, what's going on, etc. And hence it really propelled me onto this journey. So everyone deals with loss differently. And I know my husband's approach was to be very active and to keep busy. He went back to work. He was very active in his grief, where I was the opposite, where I kind of withdrew and really only did what I absolutely had to do during the day, which was take care of my surviving daughter, but not much more than that. So I slept a lot. I had a hard time sleeping at night, so I would sleep during the day, and things were very upside down. And I do know that a lot of people approach grief and loss this way. But I did feel very low energy, did not want to participate in anything, um, extreme fatigue, headaches, stomach aches, heart palpitations from the stress, all these kinds of things. And I would just kind of sleep a lot to kind of, I don't know, avoid things, right? So I was doing that. And one morning I woke up, and this was after I had already started to see things. So I started getting movies, especially first thing in the morning. I would see something play out before my eyes, like I'm just looking at a screen. And many times it was messages from my daughter on the other side. Um, Often it was spirit guides showing and telling me things. So one morning I woke up and I could see the letters in front of me, all caps, bolded, very strong, the word live. And I knew they were telling me that I need to get out of bed and live my life, that I can't sleep it away. I can't avoid it, that I need to live. And so this week is coming up for our 21-year anniversary since the loss of my daughter. Them talking about the purpose of life is to live really propelled me back to that time where they were trying to tell me that. And I listened and I realized, no, this is not my life to sleep it away. And so I tried harder to get up and start to do things, start to get back into my life. So I think what they mean by the purpose of life is to actually live your life, um, to get out there, participate in your own life, um, be engaged. And this message of living your life can mean different things to different people depending on what your challenges are. There's lots of different levels to it. So you can't really compare yourself to anybody else and how they're living their life, but you can notice those people who perhaps are more withdrawn and don't really do anything, and I'm not saying it's their own fault because definitely people have challenges. But it's interesting to see the people around us and how they live their life. And sometimes it's a reminder of what to do, what not to do. Everything is helping us to understand things. Sometimes it's about the quality of life that we're living. Some people may spend too much time at work or not enough time pursuing their goals or living for other people's dreams. So we can still be engaged in the world, but not really living our life. And I think it's just an opportunity to be aware of our own life, our own thoughts, our own feelings. And usually, when we're honest with ourselves, we can find the impetus to move in a direction that maybe we feel has been difficult for us to do or that we're avoiding. Again, there's so many different examples, but what is important is that we live our life. And yes, of course, it includes other people, but how are you living your life? Do you feel like it brings you meaning? Do you feel like you're growing? Do you feel excited about your life? These are all different barometers that we can use to reevaluate what we're doing or not doing. And most people will know what that is. And if you don't know what it is, sometimes it's good to seek out professional help, whether it's a reader like me or traditional therapy or whatever, to get to the heart of the matter. But pay attention to how you feel about things, what your triggers are, and also what your dreams are showing you, because oftentimes they will tell you what is really going on with you. And you can see the growth through those dreams as well. How one dream may make you feel fearful, and then having the same dream, you don't feel fearful anymore. To me, that's growth. So, just something to ponder. And thank you for listening today. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm at schoolofmiracles.ca. And you can take a look at what I'm offering. But because today I was talking about a life reading, that is something that I do. And it's highly personal, different for every person. And it may show you something that you're not aware of and help you in your life. So thanks for listening, and I hope you tune in again. Bye for now.